Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. Today's video I thought I'd do an unboxing of a little bit of equipment I've bought. Here it is, an electric eraser. For years I've heard about electric erasers and thought, what on earth would I need an electric eraser for? I've used things like putty rubbers in the past, which are kneadable and you can get them to sort of a fine point for sort of finer detail and removing when you're using charcoal and pencil, that sort of thing, or just a normal traditional eraser. But I heard people recommending electric erasers, so I thought I'd just buy a cheapish one to see what they're all about, really. So I went onto Amazon and this 10-win one was recommended to me. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video in case anybody's interested in purchasing one. I'm an Amazon associate, so I will get a few pennies if you do purchase one through that link. That'd be really great and help the channel out. But yeah, it arrived the other day. It's a battery operated one. It's probably better, if I'm honest, to get a mains powered one or a USB one so you can plug it into your computer or whatever. But this one just takes 2 AA batteries in it, as you can see. I use rechargeable batteries, so I thought a battery would be fine. I'm not sure how long the batteries will last for. I'll find that out, I suppose, as I use it. And I've not used it before, so I'm planning to, in this video, just do a little demo of how it works, really. So I think electric erasers really are very useful for doing fine detail erasing. So almost when you're using charcoal and pencil, you could sort of subtract from the darker areas that you've added by erasing and coming back towards the paper colour. The end rotates, the actual rubber in the end there, and it will allow you to sort of erase quite fine detail, I'm hoping. So maybe if you were doing things like fur on an animal or something, you could put a mid-tone in and then use charcoal to put some darker hairs in and use this to take out some lighter hairs to get some variation in tone on that sort of thing. It's very simply operated. When you want to erase something, you just press the button and the head tip goes round. And of course, if that's touching the paper where there is some charcoal or some graphite, it will erase to remove that charcoal or graphite. You can see that it comes with 2 thicknesses of erasers here. You can just replace them by taking out this metal clip here, or indeed there's a plastic clip for the even finer detail erasers there. That's the electric eraser that I bought. I think it was $7.99 or something like that, not very much anyway, from Amazon. So I thought I'd give it a go after all these years of hearing about them. So in this video, what I plan to do is just to cover the paper with some charcoal and maybe some graphite, and just experiment with removing some of that graphite and getting used to how hard you have to press, that sort of thing. And maybe I'll sort of try a quick sketch of something, whether like a portrait or something, I don't know. Okay, so let's see how we get on. Well, I'm starting here by just putting in charcoal as a background colour. I'm then using a putty rubber just to erase the main areas, because of course the electric eraser is just used for fine detail areas. I'm then adding some sort of charcoal to add some darks, and now I'm using the electric eraser for the first time to take out some highlights in the hair there. Just scribbling with the electric eraser to remove the highlight on the nose there. And the putty rubber again, I sort of found that the electric eraser was perhaps a little harsh and left quite a lot of scribbly lines all over it. So I think for larger areas, the putty rubber is still the way to go, really. But that's what this drawing is about, experimenting. You can see that I'm using a combination of the electric eraser to add highlights, i.e. take away charcoal, and then charcoal to re-add darker areas. So there around the mouth you saw that I added the darker charcoal, and then using the electric eraser to take out the highlights on the top of the lip, that sort of thing. But I think overall it's quite a harsh mark that it leaves with charcoal. Taking out the highlights on the ear there, and then adding some charcoal in for the crevices in the ear. With charcoal, certainly you can probably erase most of the charcoal that you've put on, so it sort of makes undoing mistakes quite easy, I guess. But you get a far more subtle highlight with the putty rubber, I think, really. Well, this is the final drawing for this video. It took only about 25 minutes, so it's a very quick sketch, but I just wanted to sort of try and use the electric eraser and try and get used to the feel of it. I think it will take a little while for me to get used to it. Really, it seems in charcoal to leave quite harsh highlights. So you can see those, for instance, in the hair, really, where I did the hair quite dark with charcoal first, and then I went over with the electric eraser to erase some lighter hair. It may be just because it's charcoal. Willow charcoal is very erasable using your finger even, really. So it's perhaps a little bit harsh with charcoal. I'll probably do another video using graphite to see how the electric eraser works with graphite and whether it's any more subtle. It was easy to use though, really. You have to sort of be aware that because the end is rotating, it sort of wants to scoot across the surface of the paper, which takes a little bit of getting used to. So you basically need to have to hold it firm where you want to erase. But I think it was a successful experiment. I hope you enjoyed watching me experiment with that. And I'll probably, as I say, do another video fairly soon using graphite instead of charcoal. Thanks for your time for watching. If you're new here, then do think about subscribing. It'll help the channel. The numbers of subscribers haven't been growing very quickly of late, so it'd be really helpful if you could subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. That's all, folks.